2 regattas in and less than 6 months to go. Just as things appear calmer on the outside, on the inside, the pressure and workload is building. Although 2 teams have lifted trophies, neither is taking anything for granted.
Yeah, we thought we put on a really good show on Villanova, but obviously didn't get that chance to do the match race.
Several had fallen from grace.
Yeah, coming back from day one was, we were never going to make that final race.
Understanding why was high on the team's agenda.
I think all through the competition we've learned a lot, got ourselves somewhat back on the pace.
And those in the middle knew that they had a battle on their hands.
It was also our bad. We could do better, but that's what happened.
The next few months are about training and preparing for the arrival of the big boats. That and settling into the Spanish venue. Here in Barcelona, where the start of the America's Cup is less than 6 months away, the infrastructure is taking shape, including the bold new America's Cup experience that has opened its doors to the public. But while all 6 of the bases are here, not all of the teams are operating out of them on a regular basis. And no one is yet sailing their new AC-75. Under the rules, teams have to give 2 months' notice as to when they'll launch their AC-75s. All of the teams have now declared that, so it looks like the earliest we'll see an AC-75 afloat will be in April. In the meantime, there is some training going on out on the water as teams shift into another gear. So what have they been up to? We've come to Barcelona to get a feel for what's happening now, what lies ahead, and what you might see once the event gets underway. The first public venue to open here in Barcelona was the America's Cup Experience. Sitting between the British and Swiss bases is a brand new purpose-built interactive exhibition and a pretty nice restaurant upstairs. Aside from the replica cup and the team displays, one of the best parts, I think, is the cup gallery. Behind the doors over there is the largest IMAX screen in Spain and a presentation that explains why the America's Cup is so special and why it's captivated so many for so long. It gives you a real sense of why this 172-year-old cup has got under the skin of so many of the world's best sailors, as well as why so many wealthy people have spent so much money trying to win it, where most of them have failed. But as you wait to go in, you're surrounded by cup history, and it's fascinating. A modern, fast-moving gallery dedicated to over 170 years of cup history. As for the film behind those doors, I'm not going to show you. You'll have to come and find out for yourself. Come on, there have to be some surprises. You'll also be able to ride on the moving simulator while wearing a virtual headset. Plus, you'll get close to the cup. But of course, best of all, come August, you'll be able to watch the racing for real. But while the official racing is on hold until August, behind the scenes it's starting to get pretty complicated. The fleet of cup boats in this cycle has grown and currently accounts for 10 AC-40s and 2 LEQ-12s, the test boats. Plus there are 3 modified former AC-75s. So there's been plenty going on. A part of any team's long-term plan is to develop their on-the-water strategies, or playbooks as they're known. From pre-start set pieces to how to retrim the boat as the weather changes, knowing how to adapt is crucial to the success of a cup campaign. Match racing skills and starting procedures are high on the list. So too is sail trim and foil adjustments in what is a complex balancing act. One of the key areas of investigation is how the sails will scale up from the 40-footers to the cup boats that are almost double the length. With only 1 new AC-75 allowed and no 2-boat testing at this size, scaling the sail plan, especially at the high apparent wind speeds of these boats, is a new challenge for the teams. As the clock counts down to launch day, whenever that might be, Getting ready to get on board the big boats is what's on everybody's mind right now. And when it comes to the preparation, there's a wide range of approaches. After Jeddah, the defenders, Emirates Team New Zealand, headed back home to use their summer to test and train. Despite the logistics of travel and being away from the rest of the teams, they see this as an advantage, as they have better weather and longer days on the water. The Kiwis are expected to launch their 75 in New Zealand before they bring the beast up to Barcelona. Doing this on their home patch and close to their main base is another advantage. Plus, working remotely is something they've been very good at over the years and have made it work for them where others have struggled. Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli have also decided to continue their training at their home base in Cagliari, Sardinia. Clearly, Sardinia is much closer to Barcelona, but being at their main base still makes life easier. Since turning heads in Jeddah with an impressive performance, they've been two-boat training with their LEQ12 and their AC40. There's thought to be quite a difference in performance between these two. So, while the AC40 is in standard one design mode, it's believed that the Italians have depowered their LEQ12 in order to match the two boats up more closely. There's also a feeling that the Italians are not just on a roll, but are in better shape now than they've ever been at this stage in a cup cycle. The Americans have been working out of their base in Barcelona and have focused on training with their two AC40s. Unlike the British and the Italians, American Magic decided not to build an LEQ12 test boat. Instead, they used the AC40 as a platform to test their custom kit. According to what we know from the reconnaissance reports, they've clocked up a serious amount of hours on the water, although they're not the leaders in this area. If anyone's race ready right now, it's them. Alinghi Red Bull Racing have plenty of machines to choose from, with a pair of AC40s and the AC75 that they bought from the Kiwis after the last Cup. But having sailed the socks off their AC75 in Barcelona, their focus for the last few months has been on the AC40s. Having been the first to arrive in Jeddah, the team stayed there and continued to test and train off the Saudi Arabian coast. We hear that a lot of their work was on sail testing. By the 20th of February, the Swiss team had completed their programme in Jeddah and returned here to Barcelona to continue with their newly revised AC75. According to the reconnaissance data, they spent more time on the water than any other team. Plus, when it comes to the AC75, they have a boat that was very quick in its previous life. Most recently, they've shown pictures of their new AC75 in wrappers as it started its trip to Barcelona. As you can imagine, the amount of decoys under the shrink wrap didn't hold back early speculation on what their new boat might look like. The British Ineos Britannia team have been firefighting recently, literally, after a battery fire broke out aboard one of their AC40s while they're out testing. Fortunately, no one was hurt and the boat was recovered. When you're dealing with a lithium battery fire, this in itself is quite a remarkable achievement. But the fact is that this has been a setback for the team, who say that they've been getting some very valuable data from the two-boat training. On the plus side, they say that the two-boat programme was about to come to an end anyway, and that they've got plenty of other areas of work to be getting on with. They're also acutely aware of their poor performances in the two preliminary events, and say that this has been a big focus and incentive to get back on top of things going forwards. Having just spent a couple of days inside their base, where pretty much everything is secret, what I can say is that their focus on data, design and human performance ahead of the launch of their new AC75 is pretty impressive. The French Orient Express racing team has been the quietest of the lot, with very little information on what they've been up to. We do know that they, like others, have been working on sail development. We also know that when it comes to their new AC75, it'll be one that will have come from the Kiwi drawing board, as the team bought a design package from the defenders to get a leg up into this event. So, while all 6 of the teams might not be here yet, there's no question that Barcelona has begun.
A sustainable future. Yanmar.